Welcome to An Empowered Woman. I'm Desiree Dubois, founder of An Empowered Woman and Let's Talk Success. I had the pleasure of being in beautiful Orlando, Florida with the enterprising women and interviewing a young lady who just won the awards. Congratulations on your award, your nomination award. And this is Angela Marshall.MD. And she's the president CEO of Women's Health, Comprehensive Women's Health, a primary care for women. Congratulations, and tell us about your story.
Thank you. So I'm so honored to be here, and this is really a culmination of a lot of hard work and effort. My story began as a child in extreme poverty. I was born to a single parent, and on the free lunch program, often hungry and very resource limited. So for me, education was a ticket out of poverty. And I didn't know what I wanted to be, but I needed to do something that would ensure that I'd be able to climb out of poverty. And so initially I said that I wanted to become a doctor. But upon starting college, I realized that going to school actually costs money.
Lots of money.
Lots of money, which I did not have. So I was able to get my first year covered through grants and some scholarships, but unfortunately those scholarships and grants weren't all renewable. And so I was really, I developed a lot of anxiety about how would I be able to afford 4 years of college, let alone 8 years of college for medical school beyond that. So I made a strategic decision at that time to change my major, because although I was interested in medicine, I also had a very strong background in math, and I loved math even more than science. So I decided to change my major to engineering. And incidentally, all the summer jobs and scholarships were for engineering. So I had the great fortune after my first year of college to receive a great scholarship from the Central Intelligence Agency. It was called the Lewis Stokes Scholarship. And so they paid for my entire undergraduate education. And one of the reasons why I changed to engineering is because I realized that if I did not go to medical school and decided to stop with my engineering degree, I could still have a great career as an electrical engineer just with a bachelor's degree. And so I thought, that's fine. Or if I decide to go to medical school, I can still do that even with an engineering degree as an undergraduate. So I thought that was a pretty good rationalization and reasoning that I did at 19. So that was my plan, and I worked for the Central Intelligence Agency all throughout college every summer, and I also worked for them for 2 years after graduation. I did digital signal processing for them. But while working there, although I loved my job, I realized that I wasn't really making a difference, at least not a measurable difference in the lives of people, and it wasn't something that I felt like I was making a meaningful impact every day. So at that time, I decided to pursue my original goal of going to medical school.
And so then after that, after a couple of years, then you went back to school.
Yes.
You were still young and single at that time?
Yes, so actually I got married the day after I graduated from undergraduate school, which, I don't recommend that to the young girls anymore, but anyways, that's another story. But I decided to go back to medical school, which was a great decision. And while attending medical school, I discovered this great love and passion for women's health. And for me, women's health was more than just treating women. It really had to do more with empowering women. I understood the struggle of women, particularly women who lived in poverty. I also understood some of the societal challenges of women, some of the social struggles, and having inequality, gender inequality, and things like that. So I felt very strongly about helping to equalize some of those issues for women. And so I felt like if I treated women as a physician, I had a great opportunity to help motivate and empower them at the same time. And so I decided upon graduation to work in women's health. And then shortly after that, I decided to start a practice for primary care just for women, since I loved working with women so much. And I've been doing it for 14 years now.
Wow, 14 years.
Yes.
So when you talk about your story, you talk about the challenges. Kind of describe some of those challenges so that some of our listeners will be really aware if they encounter it, and how you handle some of them, and maybe be able to advise someone how to do the same and push through and push forward in spite of.
Yeah. Well, I have attended many conferences, including this one, and oftentimes the question comes up, how many of you have failed, or how many of you have had struggles or thought that you wouldn't be able to make it? And when that question is asked, everybody raises their hands. And so in business and in life, nothing comes easy. And a lot of times people see success and they glorify it, and they're so excited. They think, oh, I want that. But what they don't realize is there's a backstory to that, and that backstory is not often easy. There's a lot of pain and suffering and hard work. But I think the most important thing for anyone who wants to go into business is to understand that, to first of all, believe in yourself. Secondly, to never give up. Because, everyone's going to encounter obstacles, some small, some big, but the key is having the perseverance to overcome those obstacles, and to know that it's possible to overcome those obstacles. If I can make it where I am today, anyone can, because I started with nothing. I mean, nothing. And I really have a great regard and respect for those who can, start by just putting one step in front of the other and putting two and two together to make four, and taking it from there.
So in light of that, what are some of the secrets to success? You share some of the things that are required, but if you were something you would definitely do each and every time, or you would never do again?
I think believing in yourself is extremely important, and you have to really believe in yourself, and to the point of not allowing negative self-talk get to you, or negative talk of others penetrate your mind, your mental space. And so I think having a goal is great, and I think that's half the battle. Because as soon as you make the goal and decide to do something, the rest is easy,
That becomes easy. What would you celebrate? What was your biggest win? Like, what's your biggest gift as all this time and the efforts, and to date, what would you say is your biggest celebration? It's made it all worthwhile.
I think my biggest celebration is being able to give back to other women. And when I see women who come back and see me and say, I was on the brink of suicide, or I almost gave up, but you helped me out of that. That is the biggest reward to me. It's also very rewarding to see other women and other girls who struggled and who've had horrible beginnings and horrible life situations that have been able to overcome. And so that just really excites me and keeps me going. Makes it all worth it. Yes.
So what empowering thought would you like to leave our listeners with today?
I think the thought that I would like to leave with your viewers is to follow your dreams, and to never ever give up.
Never ever ever.
Never ever ever. Never ever give up in following your dreams.
So what's next for you?
Next for me is growing my business, growing the practices that I have, but also finding ways to broaden our impact on women's health. I really feel that women do so much in their families, and they have so much on their shoulders, and oftentimes we put ourselves last. And so my goal is to have a greater impact on improving the health of women around the world.
Fantastic. And you mentioned also, I think it's worth celebrating, that you started with nothing.
Yes.
Yet tonight you celebrated your business as to reaching, what was the amount?
$1.8 million last year.
$1.8 million. So
Thank
that's
you.
a great growth, and celebrating, and thank you for also being able to give back and supporting women.
Yes,
That
thank
helps
you.
all over. So until we meet again, stay empowered.
Thank you.